Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon. I'm here joined today with Clinton and Whitney, and today we're going to be going over Bahama Bucks and their Smoothie Dabblers persona. So let's get started. So before we dive deep into some of our research and data analysis, this is kind of the five main sections we're going to go over. So we're going to start with the introduction and background, then we'll go over the problem and objectives, then we'll go over the field research we did, and then the data analysis, and then we'll dive in, finish up with the conclusions and recommendations. And so to introduce kind of the research that we've done and the topic we're going to go over, back in March of 2022, Bahama Bucks launched a digital customer reward program called Surf Club Rewards, where they were able to gather and learn many insights about their guest demographics and frequencies. Thus, continuing on to that, in November of 2022, Bahama Bucks then partnered with a group of data scientists who categorized the data into 8 different personas, with one of them being Smoothie Dabblers. This persona consists of customers who consistently purchase a smoothie as part of their order every time. And so Smoothie Dabblers is the persona and specific group that we're going to be focusing on going forward with this presentation. Okay, so the problem and objective we're going to go over for this research presentation. The question that we asked is, what factors, if any, led to customer loyalty and purchase decisions? That is the question we intend to answer for Bahama Bucks' Smoothie Dabbler customer persona. So the objective we were trying to accomplish was we're going to be focusing on how to increase the frequency of purchases from the customers dubbed as Smoothie Dabblers. So by extension, this means understanding the behavior and purchase motivation for customers to purchase a smoothie. And so that is what this project that we have done is all about. And we've done field research and data analysis all over this, and so we'll dive deeper into as the presentation continues. Okay, so for the research design approach, which is the methodologies that we decided to go with, the design and scope of our research is geared towards a quantitative method that has some qualitative tangents associated with it. And so the main methodology that we decided to do our data analysis of was quantitative analysis, quantitative research. So we did that over the data and to see if we can receive or link any key factors that drive our persona, the Smoothie Dabblers, to purchase more often. So we use a lot of quantitative methods to see if if you can find any underlying factors that that kind of drive and can kind of explain how or why they purchase smoothies. On top of that, we also did ethnography/observation research, where we observed the day-to-day operations by visiting a Bahama Bucks store in person. So me and Clinton, my other colleague, did this, which was a big source of validity for our quantitative method. So we did that to see if there was any similarities or factors that can back up or validate kind of the quantitative analysis that we did. And lastly, we also did secondary data analysis research, where we looked into additional verified research reports from other smoothie markets to see if there were any underlying similarities compared to our analysis. So again, kind of similar purpose and for our ethnographic research to see if there is any similarities between other smoothie markets from the past. Okay, so going into our field research. Beginning, we started with ethnography, which, if you don't know, ethnographic research, like I said before, is observing the day-to-day observations in person to see if there's any correlations between our personal experiences and the data analysis. And so what I personally did was I visited a Bahama Bucks store in Grand Prairie, Texas, as shown in the map on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. So it was in South Grand Prairie, Texas, as shown in the map. I personally ordered the mango dragon fruit smoothie flavor, which you can see on the top right hand of the screen. That's a picture I took of the smoothie that I ordered. I really liked that flavor. It was really good. And what was interesting was right when I ordered that, right after, I was handed a membership club card recommendation, as shown in the picture as well. And that is a consistent theme also throughout this research that we've done is the membership program. So just keep that in mind, and we'll dive into that a little bit more later. And so some of the key points that I found was that membership promotion material was everywhere in the store. So in the front door, the napkin holder, in the front desk, you could not miss it. Another point is that when asking some of the staff, I learned that smoothies tend to be bought in the mornings, with regulars always coming back in on a consistent basis. And then I observed that there were more people going through the drive-through rather than sitting in the store. And so with that, I'll leave it off to Clinton to do his ethnographic research as well.
So yeah, I did something very similar. I'm in College Station, and so we actually have two locations. And so basically, right off the bat, what I did is on the mobile app, I downloaded it, and then I joined the surf club myself just to kind of see, honestly, just when we started everything, just to kind of see what was on the menu, how things worked on the customer end, and then of course, I'd actually never been to Bahama Bucks, so this was it was kind of a twofold for me to try it myself and also to engage in the research and be able to figure out what's going on, what's working, what's not, all that kind of thing. And so it started out, we went to the one closest to our house, and then we wanted to try the other one, and just kind of periodically over the couple of months, just at random times, different times of the day, going to the different locations and just kind of seeing, trying different things, talking to the different staff members, and also just kind of observing what the patrons were doing inside, what they were ordering, who was in the drive-through, in comparison to who's ordering at the counter, and things like that. And that's kind of the things that we really focused on looking at, and like Brandon said earlier, being able to validate our what we were seeing in the data that we were given. And some of the things that stuck out were, the drive-through was always more packed than it was inside the stores. The drive-through nearly wrapped around all the way around the building every time we go in, and then there would be just a few people inside. And one thing is definitely at both locations: friendly staff, bright atmosphere, and just it was really awesome to kind of stay on that theme of feeling like you're on a tropical island, and feeling in paradise, quote unquote, and just kind of seeing what people were ordering. And even in the College Station stores, it honestly was kind of all over the place. I would see smoothies being made, a lot of snow cones, and this was in February, so it was really cold, and still not kind of warming up yet. And it was, seemed like a pretty good mix of what people were ordering. And then, again, what I did on a personal level was I tried different things. I tried weird things like mango lime, or Coke with mango, snow cones, and then I tried some of the smoothies, and my wife really got hooked on the strawberry freeze cake that is offered at our location. So you're just kind of trying different things and trying to see, how that worked, and trying to also see the consistency. And I think that that's one thing that, to led to our persona with the smoothie dabblers, is that, the smoothie flavors and the consistency, it was always, the same taste, and same consistency with the way that it was made and things like that. So it was really cool just to kind of be able to see on the customer side of that what might be driving our smoothie dabblers to keep coming back. On top of our field research, Brandon mainly decided to look into the additional verified research reports from other smoothie markets to see if there's any underlying similarities or trends compared to Bahama Bucks, and just really kind of get an overall feel of the whole market space with the competitors, and not just Bahama Bucks. And this is some of the things that we found with that. Was that smoothie consumption jumps to 69% for households with children. Consumers in the Northeast and West are the most avid smoothie customers. Fruit with yogurt and frozen yogurt is the most popular smoothie base. And then 56% of the respondents said that they had an add-in the last time they got a smoothie. And then winter months are a good time to push tropical flavors and limited edition flavors. So this is kind of encompassing what we were able to conclude from the secondary research. And then a lot of that matched up with what we were actually finding in the data that we were handed over from the Bahama Bucks team. And we can talk about that more. So with that being said, we were given a raw data package provided by the Bahama Bucks team, and we began running our analysis. So basically, everybody that was on the loyalty program had the data in that file, and then we were given the customer numbers to be able to then filter the specifically our smoothie dabbler persona. and start just running tests, and using purchase frequency as our dependent variable to just really dive deeper in what might be driving the frequency of our customers, and what is the underlying factors determining their motivation and behavior. And some of the things that we found with that were the vast majority of our demographic were females. In the breakdown, there was definitely several thousand of females compared to, I think they were about 79-80% female, and then the rest were male, or those individuals who don't identify as male or female. And so we definitely had an overwhelming majority with female customers. And we also found that it was the largest share of the market we're looking at with our smoothie dabblers were ages 21 to 40. And so that would make sense to kind of going back to the secondary research that said, it jumped higher with families with children. So this is kind of that demographic that's going to have the children that they're still driving around and things like that. So it was really cool to kind of see those things lining up with the outside research with what we were given in the data file. And so other than gender and looking at age groups, another thing that we did is we looked over anything else that we could possibly think that might drive, whether it was by region or other different factors like flavor and those sorts of things. So just kind of focusing on the location, when we ran our test, it looked like the East region actually had the highest result of the highest average per person transaction. And then we kind of just looking at the map of where the locations where it looked like most of these were in Florida based on the zip codes that we were provided as well. And this could be explained by the tropical nature of Florida and the demand a warm environment has for smoothies and other offerings that Bahama Bucks has. But when we kind of looked at dollar amounts rather than purchase frequency, we looked and seeing that the West region had the highest result with about $15.45 per transaction, and pricing and overall cost may be kind of more expensive in the West, so this could inflate some of the things that we're finding in comparison to other regions.
So next part of our data analysis, we looked at the average number of transactions versus the discount since sign up, and we found a few things. First being the longer a Smoothie Dabbler is signed up as a member, their average number of transactions and discounts gradually increases, which really this just shows the value of that Bahama Bucks loyalty program. The membership incentivizes an increase in purchase frequency and also grows customer loyalty. Continuously expanding this program could actually be a very big key to the marketing strategy for the Smoothie Dabbler persona. And nextly, in our data analysis, we looked at the average revenue by code, specifically orders being placed through drive-through, dine-in, or to-go. We found that the drive-through is the way to go. It had over 50% of that total revenue at 52% total. Convenience is starting to become a common trend, really influencing a lot of the results in our analysis. That combining a quick drive-through with an easy of use mobile interface where you can also get discounts really seems like the way to go. This model is really a model of convenience, showing that it 100% drives the loyalty and purchase frequencies among our Smoothie Dabbler persona. And then nextly, in our data analysis, we looked at our sign up by channel and date. We found that the mobile email was the biggest channel for membership signups, but mobile emails had a big drop off after its initial launch. Something recommendation wise, maybe potentially revamping this promotion or the awareness of the mobile email to boost those signups so they are back where they were a year ago. And after completing our data analysis, we have our overall conclusion. From our findings, we learned that convenience is a major driving factor for the Smoothie Dabbler sales. common trends such as drive-throughs, mobile integration, discounts, all of these things incentivize customers to maintain loyalty to the brand and by extension, smoothie sales. Some recommendations that we had in order to maximize that smoothie dabbler frequency. The loyalty program redemptions had a positive correlation and relationship with purchase frequency. Advertising, marketing, and creating overall awareness of the Surf Club, as well as reminders of point balances, inclusive offers for loyalty members would over time increase purchase frequency with this persona. Customers tended to be loyal to their flavors when consuming smoothies and were a bit more experimental with their snow options. We recommend highlighting the staple options in the smoothie lineup while continuing to reintroduce seasonal favorites, but also in the continuation of the signature flavor profiles in the snow options to keep changing things up, since the data revealed customers would widen their flavor profile in this category. The data also revealed that the customer mix is heavily skewed with female consumers. Maybe having marketing focus on themes, colors, things like that would appeal more to the females would continue to increase that traffic for our smoothie dabbler persona. Campaigns to attract more males into the mix would also be needed to specialize and carried out with a solid strategy. We recommend a campaign for the smoothies that would maybe highlight protein add-ins, offering some pre-workout, post-workout options, or just a new concept in general. Maybe the ads kind of tailored towards more workouts, weights, things like that for the male demographic. And after completing our analysis and report, maybe looking at some things that we could have done differently would be to obtain some categorical data, specifically if we had data that showed date of purchase. That way we would be able to kind of look at trends. Maybe there are certain days of the week, whether it's weekends, weekdays, where the smoothie dabbler trend is higher, as well as being able to see seasonality. Maybe purchases are higher in the summer months rather than the winter, or maybe it doesn't have any sort of change like the snow cone sales and is actually pretty steady. But that could have been one very interesting way to analyze the data and be able to kind of maybe understand the why behind the smoothie dabblers.
Yeah, and to go along that, one of the things that I think would have been cool to do in addition to what we did is being able to see the customer's perspective from maybe like a focus group or a survey or something that would, with the field observations, it was more of us observing and didn't really interact with the customer so much as just really kind of observing, being able to go back and look at survey data or things that we might have discovered in a focus group would allow us to kind of put ourselves more in the customer perspective and be able to see what drives them a little bit more and maybe just kind of get some more insights as what might work with certain strategies in the marketing campaigns.
And one thing that I found that if I were to go back and do it a little bit differently was when I first initially started doing my research, I did ethnography, which is based around social media engagement. And so I was looking for social media research on the smoothies. And it was really hard to find anything that was valuable in terms of increasing the smoothie frequencies for Bahama Bucks. And so I wish I would have started out with ethnography itself by visiting in person and observing just the in-store interactions. It would have saved me a lot of extra time and some ethical dilemmas with some of our findings that could be implemented for a marketing strategy was because a lot of the target demographic was female. You have two options, right? You have an option of focusing on the females for marketing strategies, or you have an option to be more inclusive and have kind of all types of demographics. And so an ethical dilemma that could happen. You don't want to isolate some of the potential customers that would feel weird if they bought smoothies because you don't know if it's targeted towards them or not. And so that's an ethical dilemma that could have discussions over what kind of strategy you want to pursue. But with that, we hope you enjoyed some of our insights and gathered some value out of this, and we appreciate it.